Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm talking about the new docu-series on Disney Plus called Light and Magic. This is a docu-series that focuses on the formation and the creation and the success of Industrial Light and Magic, the company that's behind a lot of movies that they have special effects in them, they have VFX artists involved with them. They've done the Marvel movies, they've done a lot of Steven Spielberg's films, they've done obviously a lot of George Lucas's films, who's one of the founders of Industrial Light and Magic. They've done special effects and all sorts of visuals for all kinds of movies for all over the years. And so this docu-series is about how this company got formed, why George Lucas had to form it when he was making his first Star Wars movie, and how there weren't any special effects houses at the time, and how he kind of had to make one in order for Star Wars to get made. And so that's kind of what this docu-series is about. Each episode is kind of about its own little thing. I would say the first two episodes are pretty much strictly focusing on the formation of the company, kind of the major key players that made Industrial Light and Magic work, while some of the later episodes are about, making Jurassic Park and today's visual effects, and certain episodes are dedicated to certain things. But overall, guys, basically, like I said, what this docu-series really is about this special effects company and how they kind of changed the visual effects company once and for all once they got noticed and created Star Wars and went on to make other big films as well, and how they're kind of still able to be around to this day due to them adjusting to the times and doing all these really amazing stuff with their visual effects in everybody's movies. But overall, guys, let's talk about some positives and negatives about this docu-series. I really like the series a lot. I'm always intrigued by underdog stories that happen in Hollywood as to how people can revolutionize the industry, make the industry better, make people's films better. And so let's kind of go over some positives and negatives right away, leaning into that right away, as far as things I really liked about the show and things that probably could have been a little bit better about the show as well. But for my positives of the show, this is a really great and inspiring series of stories. Almost everybody involved with Industrial Light and Magic has a really inspiring story of some kind, as far as how they got in, how they got hired from Industrial Light and Magic, how George Lucas found them or somebody within the company found them. And it really is a great overall story with all six of these episodes as to chasing after your dreams and really kind of believing in yourself. And if a certain technology isn't around yet to get your vision made, how a group of people like this formed their own company and really allowed themselves to form their own imagination and to let something come to be through something that they made. And so I think that's just a really inspiring story on any level, as far as getting noticed and getting your dreams out there and getting noticed and not giving up on your dreams either. Another positive I had for this is, like I said, these really were Hollywood underdogs. Some of these people really came from nothing. They were just kind of people that were making little short films in their house, and they happened to make little visual effects shots that they spent a lot of time on. We stop motion and claymation and things that were around at the time, but they really didn't revolutionize the industry yet. And how a combination of all these people combined, whether it is the claymation guy and the stop motion guy and all these variants of visuals coming together to form this company so that all their visions could be made, that they're not just these people that were making stuff in their backyard all these years, that they really had a vision to bring to Hollywood that really would help benefit people's movies with visual effects. And I really enjoyed it. I thought the whole idea of a Hollywood underdog for all these people, I thought was really inspiring. And there really is some crazy ideas that some of these people had to make certain visual effects work. Um, One visual, for example, that Industrial Light and Magic came up with is in the scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where there's ghosts floating out of the Ark of the Covenant near the end of the movie, and Indy's try to tell the bad guys not to look into it or else they'll die. The effect they used for the ghosts was actually some type of a puppet that was dipped in like a water tank or something. And when you watch it on film, and because they got rid of all the other optical stuff around it, it looks like a floating object. And so there's things like that you just would never think of unless you have this really brilliant visual mind of putting something that brilliant onto the screen for a director. Another good example is, I guess, for the show The Mandalorian. Um, Most of the time they're on this curved TV set, and they can change the setting anytime they want to on it because digital technology is that advanced now. And so there's one episode where they could be in a desert, and then there's another episode where they could be on an ice planet. And they'd be able to do that without having to go anywhere because of this really great technology they have. And with just getting the set ready to go. So if it is on an ice planet, it's just a matter of clicking a button to change it. And then obviously the objects around them really make it people believe that that person is really there and stuff. So just stuff like that that you just would never think of. And like I said, specifically with the Raiders of the Lost Ark ghosts and stuff like that. So just stuff that you would never, unless you really worked in visual effects and had a really great mind as to bringing an idea onto a screen, you just wouldn't believe some of the crazy ideas people had of getting some of those visuals on the screen the way that people at Industrial Light and Magic have been able to do so. I also like how this film inspires people to really work as an ensemble, because if you're just working by yourself, you're not going to be able to achieve as much. Working on an ensemble of people where one person's good at the one thing, another person's really good at another, and then another person's really good at another, I think that's another just really great message for everybody, because no matter what kind of job you pursue or whatever kind of things you get involved in your personal life, I think this is just a great and inspiring message. Is always working as an ensemble really kind of brings your vision to light more, specifically if other people can bring things and skill sets to your idea that will really make it shine even more. I also liked how the film touched the topic of adjusting to the times, how there's a lot of people who were working in the model shop and stop motion in Industrial Light and Magic, and how a lot of them had to adjust and to change when the computer age started to come around, when Pixar was getting big, when Jurassic Park got big, and computer graphics were starting to take over the film industry. And it really was kind of both a happy and a sad moment for a lot of people, because some people were out of work, some people gained work, some people went from the old version of work to the new version of it. And so the docu-series covers that adjustment that people had to make in order to stick around in Industrial Light and Magic and stick around with the technology of today and things like that. And so I like how the docu-series covers both the good and the bad of new technology coming along. But for my negatives of the show, though, certain episodes, specifically in the first half, I would say like within the first 3 episodes in particular, some of the segments were a little slow. I thought some of the stuff was a little repetitive in the first 3 episodes. Like, it's just like, okay, that person had just enough time to talk there. They just talked about that in the previous episode. They just talked about that. So certain moments were a little slow and a little repetitive for me, specifically in the first 3 episodes. They're just talking about Star Wars and how what certain people did after Star Wars, and how some of them sticked around for Empire Strikes Back, and certain parts just felt a little slow to me, and I thought certain episodes could have picked up the pace a little bit more than they did. Another thing I thought the series could have done better too is interweaving some of the clips with things that are kind of more connected to the clips. Like, for example, if John Smith A and John Smith B are roughly in the same part of the episode, what they would do sometimes is you would think that the comment that the person number A would make to person B would roughly be in that episode, but what they would do is they would come back to that exact same 2 people in a later episode, and then they would make the comment, and then they would try to connect it to something that happened in an earlier episode. And I just thought it could have been interwoven better with some of that stuff, because some of it felt disconnected more so than connected. So I thought some of the interweaving of certain clips could have been better to bring some of those ideas back to life a little bit more, because if you wait way after the fact, after seeing episode 2 or episode 3, you're probably not going to remember some of the stuff as well as if you just watched it all together at once. So I thought that aspect of the show, editing-wise, could have been done better. And for me personally, too, I know Lucasfilm is one of the backers for financing this docu-series. So, of course, they're going to talk about a lot of Star Wars and Indiana Jones stuff. But for me personally, I thought specifically in the first 3 episodes, they really hit it hard with the Star Wars stuff. And because this is about Industrial Light and Magic as a company, I wish the whole series in general was about the overall spectrum of Hollywood and the visual effects in all versions of film. I would say in 4, 5, and 6 for this series, they really do get better at that, and they get better about focusing in on that. But specifically in the first 3 episodes, it's just like Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. And so I really would have just liked to have seen more of, okay, like what was going on in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, what was going on there, and what was going on there, what was going on with this film. So for me personally, I thought some of those first 3 episodes could have done a little bit better on making it more than just about Star Wars. But overall, guys, I'm going to give Light and Magic, a show about industrial light and magic, a 9 out of 10. You can find this on Disney Plus if you're a subscriber. It's about 6 episodes long. Each episode's about an hour long, I would say. So it's pretty long. So if you want to binge watch it all the way through, it is about 6 hours worth of content. I had to break it up personally just because I can't sit around for 6 hours. I just don't have that much time available to watch something like that. So I had to break it up personally just so I could digest it a little bit better. But overall, I'm going to give, like I said, Light and Magic a 9 out of 10. Highly recommended. It's very well done. A couple little nitpicks every once in a while, but it's a really inspiring documentary series that really encourages everybody to chase after their dreams and show you just how much visual effects have to go through in order to get films made that we all know and love. So 9 out of 10 for me. I highly recommend Light and Magic. It's a great show.